You think that show match is not going to bother them at all?
Nah, this is just fun.
I think this is just to get the 4 fingers off Paraboy heated up. It's like, okay, now I'm going to vibes like a mini TDM, well, a pretty big TDM.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be all having fun. And for my prediction, I think it's whoever ends up being blessed with the circle at the end.
Chance of that happening. You know what? Circles could be pretty important in PubgMobile in general. But yeah, I mean, it's just going to be, as we said, a fun game mode, right? And it's just going to set maybe a few expectations for teams that are looking already hot.
I do hope if we end up with the 1v1 at the end, I want to see a pan off, okay?
Wait a minute. You didn't give your prediction.
I did.
Who was it? I forgot.
Whoever gets blitzed by the circle.
That's
Well, that's a broad one.
I'll tell you after the game.
What? No, you got... Okay.
I can tell you mine, though.
Oh, yeah. Go.
I am going for the absolute GOAT that I was so scared to approach to take a photo, which is Paraboy. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm one of these Paraboy Instagram fan page scrolling guys.
Nah.
I literally am.
That's a cop-out answer.
I am.
It's too easy.
I know it's too easy, but I'll just go for it anyways because, you know, if no one else doing it, then I will.
Look at the Alpha 7
So
people.
much. It's very
sitting
soon
down,
starting. We saw an
support.
army approaching the audience, and that army has just arrived to support their favorite teams. It might be Alter Ego. I do believe most of them were here for Alter Ego. And with that being said, we are very soon going over to the casters. With us today is none other than John Allen and the potentially most fashionable man in esports. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much.
It's me, Blank.
It's Blank. That's who it is who's with me today. We are so excited to kick things off here for the PMGC with the show match. 1 versus 1's going to be happening towards the end of it, but there's so much more to get through before that as well.
At least 64 1v1s could be happening right now. Well,
32?
32?
I don't know.
32. I would say 32, you know. But it could happen. Well, let's not go into numbers here because it's going to get very confusing very quickly. We'll start after multiplying on top of each other. We don't want to do that right now, do we? So we're going into our 1v1s here. This is our show match to start the day off. This is going to be a quick one, but this could be a really good place to cement yourselves as one of those players that you want to watch out for in the lobby, because I do think we have some hot contenders that looked great yesterday. The crowd is very loud at the moment, which makes me extremely happy. I'm going to feed off that energy like a vampire and bring it straight to the stage here.
Oh, fantastic. I like it. I like it. We were looking at a couple of the players. They were talking about them over on the desk. We were sort of looking around. You know, my outside pick, I would say, for me, Kenzo. I'm looking for this guy. He was really, really strong for Buradam during their performance, during the group stages, during those parts of the tournament.
For sure.
In a solo capacity, I think he's got the legs.
I think he does as well. I think he really does bring up the absolute speed on that team. And I think you look at a player like Nenebete, he's very, very good, very fast, very slick with it, getting into position, but a lot of times that is a case of getting those end game points. It's not necessarily getting up towards that top side. Was definitely a really, really strong player over in that league stage. Maybe another player that I'm looking at is Stoned from VPE. Ooh. Really, really strong player from there. Individually, very good. On the other hand of things, I do worry about that player sometimes because he is extremely good at the game, but he has his dips now and then. But I think that this could easily be a position where he's able to take on top. There's your boy. If you don't know who he is, get to know, and I'm sure you will do soon, so I'm not going to spoil anything just yet. But his name ends with Yang and starts with James, so just wait and see.
I'm sure we'll be hearing a little bit more from him later on. But going into this 1 versus 1, I feel like default winner, Order. Unless someone pops off, Order wins, right?
Yeah, so I was saying the same thing actually right at the beginning. I was saying, you know, Order was a really strong player coming through from Nova. It feels like a cop-out pick though, really, you know. I want to choose someone else just because, you know, although it does feel like Offerdo will probably go to this one and smash out the park, there's definitely a chance here for something else to happen.
Well, let's go right into game number 1 with Arangel starting from a military plane all the way up to the northeast side. Kameshki for the plane path on this solos game. Now, if you have seen the map before, you will be familiar that there are normally team colors blank. None of those colors exist this time around. It is all 4-1.
It's a grey world out here today, and it's a little bit of a grim world as well because you can go out real quickly. Other than the one yellow player that we do have on our screen, which should flit around a little bit. That's the one we're currently holding, following over on that map feed. But other than that little splash of colour, yeah, everyone's out to get one another during this lobby. Already we're getting players dropping down over towards Sosnovka here. T2K dropping together, in fact, which... Ooh, is it going to be, you know, T2K on T2K action right at the beginning of the game?
I mean, there's prize money on the line for this game as well, right? You know, it's when friends can become enemies. It looks like A little bit of damage dealt there. Legend seemingly unfazed by the presence of a teammate, but there are shots being loose down the corridor, so potentially a bit of a scuffle here on the T2K drop down south. For the early doors, a nade pin being pulled. King moves forward, steps in their ears. It doesn't quite manage to get the nade through the door. It's unfortunate, won't do too much damage there. Legend upstairs now with a Vector. Close range, devastating weapon. Rig, Tommy gun, equally powerful in these scenarios, especially when you're lacking the armor. Molotov to reposition. But no eliminations just yet.
Seems like T2K are drawing this fight out just a little bit. Can certainly move. That's the first circle as well that we have seen in PMGC. Over towards that western side of the map. A lot of water in this one. Should start to shrink pretty quickly though. Over towards Quarry side most likely. Could head up towards that north on Hospital. Just on that lower edge of Everest. But T2K not doing too much. It feels like... I don't know how I feel about this, in fact.
Well, no one wants to go down first, right? I feel like even within the team it's going to cause bragging rights, but we're going to hop over to a different fight. This is Nova. I think this is Order downstairs with Federal from Influence Kemin playing around the side. AKM in hand, double barrel reload needing to come through for Order. Reposition. Auto shotgun as well in hand, suppressing these windows. And Federal just does not want to give this angle. Spots Order, shots through the window, and default winner down.
I mean, Federal's the one to do it there. Coming through from his team, I mean, Federal really puts on a clinic over in his group. And Order just couldn't step to it. Quick peek around the window. Straight on the headshot. Order didn't see it coming.
Ooh. Rig around the sideline, spots the player, has to duck back in, sees him still there. Behind the box, not going to go for it, doesn't have the angle. Rig looks for a second, but the armor is super damaged right now. Will not matter, a single bullet, all it takes. The Vector pushes, but allows Rig to move out through the side, drops all the way down and around. Goodness me, he's acrobatic today with it. Rig back downstairs and into a little bit of safety. Don't think there's too many meds on board yet, though.
Rig there with the first aid kit, can get back up to 70. On the other hand, T2K's other player not looking so strong there. Does get the resupply on the third. Level 3 helmet there as well, some gear. Ooh. That's not going to see you too far with the amount of HP still on board. Alex from HC in Alamo currently. Looks down towards Kengzo from Buradam. So a lot of our big heavy hitters so far already taking a lot of damage. Order, I mean, out almost instantaneously. That's a Maxman curse for you.
That's right. That's what happens when Maxman turns his powerful gaze upon you.
Yeah.
You do wither sometimes. Got to be a little bit stronger. There's Kengzo.
Yeah.
There's my pick going down. It's
Yeah,
like, it's really all to play for on this one.
Be an unsurprising pick coming through. Rig with the 1v3 there. Takes them all down. Really well played. And now gets a very nice resupply. Only thing he's massively lacking at the moment is that medical supplies, but with the entirety of Sosnovka practically to his health, other than Alter Ego's Fnatic down towards that southwest side, it's pretty easy for him to pick up a nice amount of kit and get himself over towards that west side of the map.
Alex moving across the ground there in the open. Was pretty close to Kengzo, to be fair. We do call him that from time to time. He's got a lot of power. Power Boy now in a little bit of trouble against Lutz. Pushing forwards with the Bison, but from the grass, Power Boy stays alive. And Nova still have one of their heavy hitters.
I mean, you say Nova has one of their heavy hitters. They're all
one of the four.
Pretty big batters.
One of the four heavy hitters.
One of the four heavy hitters, that's for sure. Potato coming against Alex from IHC, gets the DP out, just a little bit more to put it in there, but can't finish it off.
Alex, slick with it around the back of the buggy. Playing a little bit too spiky for the Alter Ego home turf player.
Fortunate stuff there. Just a few bullets had to zip through, maybe the window or the chassis itself, but Potato's out in the open and Alex just had to bide his time. Quick peek, nice and easy. DRS rules.
Ooh.
Easily done there. Vitali's out and down. That's kind of DRS gameplay though. You know, you sit in the top of a house and just wait for someone. They are quite campy as a team, honestly. But I mean, if it works, it works, right? They get to have marshmallows as well, so I can't complain.
That was a cracking pre-fire on that. I really enjoyed that as well. He's heard those steps coming through. He's like, well, he's going to run through the door right now, so I'll just start firing before he even has the angle. Very, very well orchestrated there. I feel like in these solo scenarios, the value of nades is going to go up vastly, Blank, because you're just going to be able to completely wipe someone out instantly. Remember, there's no knocks. You can't get rezzed because you are playing solo.
Yeah, it will be one of those cases of just complete unfortunate circumstance of nade comes your way, you had no idea the player knew your position in the meantime, you're done, it's out, Federal looking for some kind of cover there, but Becker from Inco to finish the job. Federal's actually moving out back again. Those nice little Peeper Bison buffs coming through. Makes that thing absolutely deadly.
I think it was the suppressor as well on their Mythic from Alpha 7. Sees Remember crawling past the corner. There's the pin pulled. Remember will hear that. Pushes up to the wall as well. Mythic now position known. Remember hops out the back into the sidelines. Opens the door. Spots the ankle of Mythic, but doesn't manage to get one more bullet in that he needed. Mythic not really going to have the opportunity to heal just yet. Spots the player rotating on the outside, and Mythic's out up top. Wants to bank a nade off of the crates, but Remember not going to give him that chance from Wolf. Nade down the stairs, and it backs him off for now. The Chinese team want to keep their player alive, Remember.
Oh, flashbang.
Flashbang around the edge, but Mythic stays tucked in. Wants to spot it with the DBS. Doesn't manage to land that first ka-chunk, but the second is good. Remember falls.
That's deep in the tummy as well. You're not recovering from that one. Surprised it took even just the one pump there.
Ooh,
probably half a pump would have done it.
Was that a nade both ways between
I think it might have been.
And I didn't catch who else it was, but I think they just eliminated each other.
If it was Solke and Kelsey, then yes, because they were both rotating up on the top side of Stalber, and I don't see either of them anymore.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, you know it was. It was S2G and Fireflux coming up in the elimination feed. So that's unfortunate. Neither of them going to get the chance to move further forwards. Revo, though, with his shot to take on Kayovsky from Influence Kemen. Nades going back and forwards. 3 in the pocket for Revo. Only 2 for Kayovsky as he launches another one over towards the tree. Will do a lot of damage there, but Revo stays alive for the moment.
Revo been absolutely killer over on Alpha 7.
There it is.
Unfortunately, Kayovsky's just got his number. Had a ton of grenades still left in the pocket. Kept sending them through. The job was done pretty easily off the back of that. IHC, there were a couple of players over on that western side, but as the circle shifts hard down towards that west. So on the coastal side, a lot of cover to be had. A lot of areas to be played. The yellows down on that west side as well, on the road. That could be a nice place to pick up. But again, these are very shareable spots here in the solos.
38 players remaining now as Rig did fall on the Sosnovka military base, the last remaining player of T2K who won out that scrap on the south. Will no longer have a member in action. They can turn their focus to the main tournament and watch the rest of this lovely show match.
Action, takes shots up towards Silas. Cannot quite get the job done though. Silas thinks to himself to maybe try and pick off some more players. Nova still running, I think, with 3 at this point in time, with Order being the only one to fall so far. 4 AM with 2 players up towards shooting range, and that box compound, that's MW. As well as one more. Influence Kemen, Kayovsky, Little Boy took out Law earlier, so 2 players still going from Influence Kemen. Very strong couple of set of players there.
Action from Stalwart. Very powerful himself. Little Boy there. Close to one of the geeks. Launches the nade. I feel like they know of each other's presence here. Damn rude. Wants to put a nade over. 5 nades as well. I feel like the players have kind of sensed the value of these nades go up in this solo scenario.
Yeah, it's the 1-2 punch, right? I mean, this is the meta getting instantly defined as we go on. This is more of a case of getting those nades. It comes later on in the game. You're able to get those bits of equipment much easier as you're able to journey through.
Oh.
Shotgun, though, from Action. Will take down Mythic. Stepped into the wrong building, buddy.
Shotguns both ways on that engagement. Mythic not given the space, not given that breathing room. Rules on the buggy now. Pushes the players from Alter Ego back, or the player, singular. Yuhai close to King. King spots him first, gets the drop on him, but Yuhai ducks back behind the cover, steps up for a challenge, but King finishes it off.
King from Nova. We used to call this guy the King Cobra because He was one of the ultimate snakes from Nova, able to do some really good work towards that end game to pick themselves up some additional points towards that top 15, so it was very, very nice for them. It's cool to see him still hanging around with the boys, doing good work here over in the solos. I mean, it's such a big organization at this point in time for Nova. I think it's over $6 million currently earned in prize winnings. They can just afford to keep these players on and grab all the coaches and analysts they need to maybe show up some of those mistakes.
So high value on infrastructure moving into the future of PUBG Mobile esports. Definitely worth investing in, and the value of that will be shown. Alter Ego finding another elimination over onto one more of the Geeks. Ponbit moving through as well, northeast side of the next circle, as things start to get a little bit more tight and packed on that west coast.
A lot of players being grouped up together here. I said we see that splashy yellow be taken somewhere else, but on our map feed, still on King. Refuses to go down without a fight. Little boy, Svan, so Paraboy, Scry, still quite far outside of the circle. Razy, in fact, up towards the north side of Rozok, so a long way for this guy to go. Good Xiao from 4am, still making his way down from North George. We'll have to pass through Ravenclaw. So there's one of a player from 4am. But right now, we could quite easily say that Buradam, my name P, got a good spot. This guy really did put some good work in over in the group stage. He made it look good. I think a lot of people focus on Kengzo, but you cannot forget about this guy.
Silas getting shots popped off his way. And trades on these hillsides. I mean, you can't really trade at all. Peaks are going to be few and far between, unless you can isolate one of those angles like Jimmy's managed to find over towards one of the 4am players. WWX laid broad, actually steps in front of the tree, ducks back behind. I think he spotted Jimmy there. Rules, sees up the hill, lays down a player. Not going to be able to find that elimination yet, though.
Jimmy just hiding away. Ravenclaw really good with these off angles. Unfortunately, he is sandwiched between Jimmy as well as MW from 4am. My name P. Silas drops a nade up top side, shuffles around just a little bit, and I would too, but maybe giving away the presence. It's a little bit too much noise.
Beautiful over the top of the hill, but Micah stays alive with it. The UMP manages to find the shots it was looking for, managed to land center of mass there. A low HP bar there, but it's healed it up very, very quickly, and a resupply on the crate.
Really good stuff there from Micah. From very, very far to the team over on Geek Fam, a new addition for them. It's kind of that little bit of extra oomph that they needed on the team alongside with him and Yuhai. Made something very special out of Geek Fam from Malaysia. Looking to go a little bit further here in the PMGC. Obviously, this is just a show match, though. $3,000 still. Nice hefty chunk of cash going your way.
That's something I hadn't really thought about. Picked up there, I believe, was a Car 98 from Micah. Very, very powerful are these snipers. One shot and you're down and you're out. It's not even just those headshots that are going to get a knock, take some supplies away from the enemy team. That's just the full elimination right there, one and done.
Yeah, so you best have some of those level 3 helmets still on board because, yeah, there's no knocks. There's no knocks. It's just bish bosh out the lobby. No longer have a chance in hell at picking up that $3,000. Looking down towards Good Xiao. Jimmy. Alongside one another now, so Good Xiao maybe in a more of a position to take this 1v1 with Jimmy. Again, though, with My Name P, Silas. I think that's one other player there from Vampire Esports, Stoned. Player that I want to see do pretty well during this solos.
You did say that. And it looks like maybe what they were talking about over on the analyst desk is coming through. I feel like we're seeing more of the IGLs start to step up in this scenario. I mean, we still got players like Paraboy coming on through, but Jimmy in a phenomenal position on the north side of this and got so much control over this west coast.
Yeah, Jimmy's totally good to go at this point in time. He's in a strong spot. A lot of area to control for himself. He's looking up towards that northeastern side. He can cut off a lot of rotations as they come down. It's going to be difficult for Good Xiao to actually even try and take any pick-off shots at him without alerting the presence towards Action, Delta, My Name P, Ravenclaw. So Jimmy's in a really good spot at the moment. Fortunately, he is on that edge side of the circle. That is going to make life a lot harder later on.
Uh-oh, Delta cut down in his prime as My Name P steps out from the top rope. Nicely found there, Demo from IHC into the shack on the north side of the next circle, sailing straight on past. It's WWX from 4 Angry Men. Trying to find some cover, looking for a safe place. Unfortunately, not too many of them exist anymore. Jimmy spots his teammate, good shout, and will be able to take that one down. WWX also felled by Ravenclaw.
It's me. It's all starting to pop off just a little bit now. 16 players left remaining. Schweppes moves up. Alter Ego still has a player in this one. Fnatic moved all the way down from Sosnovka military base, so this has been one hell of a run for him. To get up towards this side, Schweppes down. That's DRS on the side, Rules there. Takes a cheeky shot towards him, and now Fnatic knows that there's players in the mix. Just had to send the vehicle in.
I don't think he knows that that player specifically went down. I mean, he probably heard the nade go off, so potentially is aware of that and takes the opportunity to get on into the vehicle. Send a lot further central over the bubbles near the swamp. And Fnatic playing this ridgeline. Demo is there as well, a little bit further north. The central compound now starting to pack itself out, starting to fill up those locations. We'll get more and more hotly contested over time. Killer sprays over towards Demo, has to go for the reload and spots him again. This time he tags it, has to leave the vehicle, has to leave the compound as well for Killer. Falls out the back.
Demo not in a great spot anymore, honestly. It's hard for him to get any kind of room to play with. Locked down 100%. Next circle about to pop on our screens. Heads up towards Jimmy. This is great. A great opportunity for him, actually. Opens up a real shot for him in this game. Stoned equally on a bit of high ground down towards that southwest side. It's just close enough for him to start to think about heading over towards Action. It'll be very difficult for Action to hold the entirety of that compound all by his lonesome.
Killer's smokes keeping him safe from Jimmy right now. You've got to wonder how long that's going to last, and even if you do survive that, are you going to get away from the M249 Demos currently lugging around the battlefield? Catch a little bit further north on this as well, and a lot of open ground for these players to cover. Will be difficult. 14 remain.
Solus just keeping it relaxed, calm, down towards that south side. Heads to the vehicle now, might move up towards this loot crate. This gives a real good bit of a defilade to play behind. Stone might see him though. Opts instead to actually just send straight past. So this is up towards My Name P and Ravenclaw with S2G themselves. Rules really taking the DRS gameplay to the maximum, actually.
Ooh.
Keeps it nice and steady out on that outer edge.
Catch rolls forwards to the burnt out pickup. The truck providing a little bit of cover. Kayovsky actually spots the shots over towards the northeast side as well. Influence coming with their player on the east edge. Jimmy will have to move a little bit further south, though. Doesn't want to give up control over Ketch's position. And you can see Ketch dropping out that smoke line to give him time to get up to speed, make it harder for Jimmy to land those sprays.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to struggle just a little bit to find Ketch, but Ketch knows he needs to move. Fully stims up, sends out now. Moving across the battlefield, stops just a little bit short. Respect that from him. Doesn't want to go too far, just get that vehicle in. If he can maintain that cover a little bit longer, means he has that vehicle for the late game.
Spotted on the sidelines. Rules nearly takes down Fnatic, but it's only half HP. Kayovsky, in the meantime, can descend the hillside and take the challenge himself. DBS is in hands for both of these players, and a mid-range engagement sees that those bullets not doing too much, but finally, the final chunk lands, and Rules, the points taken away.
Unfortunate there for Alter Ego, but they get fairly far into this lobby. 12th place. Not too shabby at all. Kayovsky, though, just too good with it. There with the DBS at long range. Again, Silas, My Name P, Ravenclaw, all just holding in this singular spot over on this side of the compound. much more difficult, as we said earlier, to hold down towards where Action's currently playing, as there's so many points of ingress, so many places where you can start to attack that kind of compound. These areas, much more simple just to hold on to, keep players off the back of them.
Ketch makes the push ahead of Jimmy on the northern side. Gets through the coastline, but the vehicle will be taking pretty hefty damage right now. Stoned on that southwest side that you were talking about, Blank, being a powerful position, now has contest from Ketch.
Yeah, Ketch moves right up towards him. I think that for Stoned, he has all the information he needs. Does need to move up towards our eastern side, so now taking down Ketch becomes pretty high priority on the list of things for him. Sends a nade, but it's very wide here, but I think he's just going to blanket this hillside in them.
Would be wise, just get that ordnance down range. Ketch tagged up now, so location a little bit more zeroed in on. Stoned doesn't need to utilize this final nade yet. He just needs to suppress this ridgeline, but Ketch has 4 to play with, and Stoned is in danger here. A little bit too far to the right to go for the full knock, but will do damage. 16 seconds remaining before the zone closes, and Stoned is right on the back of it. Will need to shift forwards, as will Jimmy on the northern side. Another nade from Ketch down the hill, and doesn't spot Stoned moving out wide, which means that he can probably deduce he's staying nice and tight to the blue. Rules. Shots over towards Kayovsky on the eastern side in the meantime.
7 smokes there for Stone, though, so could make his way out of this position, or just at least smokes Ketch off. That's a really smart play, actually. I like this one. Still having the vehicle in the back pocket. This is excellent work. Limits that sight line coming through from Ketch. Moves out the vehicle, tries to get a sneaky spot onto him, but it's even. Other players that are taking shots forced out this way by Stone. It might just be his doom.
Spraying and praying here for King. Not going to be able to tag it. Ketch into the buildings now and into the compound. Stoned moves up on the western edge, but will have to move over that ridge in the meantime. 1 minute and 50 seconds before the zone's fully down, but Action now has a challenge. Will not be able to stand up to it, and Ketch has been rolling through, finding these openings somehow, some way, and making it work. Jimmy now up to battle. Stoned not going to have control of the ridgeline just yet. Jimmy super low, goes for the rundown, but Stoned takes him out of the mix.
That's an aggressive play as well. Moves right up to it towards the bumper to get a better look at the registration plate before popping Jimmy out the front there. Silas, pretty obvious where he's playing. Well, look at that vehicle at least. Ravenclaw from Vampire also still over in this area. My Name P really has not moved from that spot on the staircase.
Rules did know that Kayovsky was there a little bit earlier, so we'll have a lot of information to be playing with. Won't have seen Kayovsky moving forwards. We'll know pretty much exactly where the player is. Tricky for Kayovsky to win this one out, I would say. A lot of difficult terrain ahead of him. This compound has been such a bastion for the players who have been inside it.
Yeah, they've been struggling. They've been struggling if you're out on that edge side. You've had to work your way in. I think Stone's done a good job to kind of send people away from this position. It was less about taking down Ketch, but more about making sure he couldn't hold down towards this beach side. We saw how that went for him. Ketch was put in some very dangerous situations. Fortunately for anyone that can hem up against Ketch, they got to find out the hard way just how clutch this man is when it comes to these really tight moments. He's able to get out of them pretty sneakily. Does have that get out of jail free card a lot of times.
Stoned in the buildings on the western side, right on the edge. Next circle will dictate a lot of the pace, I would say, of this next phase. North or south, or is it going to go away from the compounds entirely? Really going to have to choose it carefully. And instead, it's fairly dead center there, Blaine.
That is fairly dead center. And the devs were saying, the circle's going to come into this. And I would agree. You get these kind of yellows, you get these positions. My Name P, Silas, Ravenclaw from about, let's say, 2 circles ago were kind of destined to be at this point in the game so far through. And My Name P trying to send these nades over towards Ravenclaw. Hard to thread this one, but if he does, Ravenclaw's going to have to be careful. Does move out. It's so close as well. You can see with the line there.
Yeah.
The question is, how many nades does My Name P still have? And how useful is it trying to thread this through?
2 more nades in the back pocket. Did that go through? Oh no, it just
on
bounced
the
off
ledge.
there. I thought that one had managed to post, but not quite. Stoned now with another move to make. Drops a smoke on the corner, isolating the sightlines from that northern side of the compound. hops in the vehicle and wants to roll forwards quickly. I mean, will probably be very valuable there. Players to worry about. Silas ready and waiting. Right on this door frame with a micro Uzi and challenge, and Solus has suppression as well. Stone DBS are on the edge, but they're not landing finally. Able to get the shots in, and Stoned now has more to worry about. The players to his south left in the dust, and Stoned has been moving through really effectively. Naded through the window from My Name P, and he will find out just how noisy the neighbors can be.
Molotov tries to send it through in towards the smoke to trick Stone, maybe walking out in towards it to get away from another nade. Stoned is now in a pretty difficult position, though he does have a lot of stims to play around with, get himself back up to full HP. That is just one of those engagements where, yes, both DBSs aren't hitting, but again, it's more about dodging the DBS, and whatever gets the work done in the end is what's necessary.
Oh, Kayovsky spotted. Rules was spotted as well in the grass, but had to win out that trade. My Name P doesn't want the shots this time.
Yeah. I said DRS a little bit campy, but now they've gone full on feral. They've gone right into the wilderness, taking it to the enemy team, just hiding in the old bushes, in the trees, taking the shots where they can, laying those traps, and Kayovsky, he rocked right into one. I almost became Bugs Bunny there for a second.
What's up, though? Two players from Fireflux. Playing close to each other, Ketch and Solus. Ketch has been a little bit more of a star in this game so far. See if Solus can ruin his teammates' day, ruin the chance of that 3K.
Yeah, and right now, Vampire have the best chance, alongside with Fireflux with two players, Solus and Ketch. I do wonder how well these two players know one another. Yeah, probably not well at all. That was a nade from Ketch. Oh, it's going 1-to-1 here. So it's like, let me tell you something. It's me. It's me, your brother.
But we are friends. No, don't do it.
Ketch has just got like the blood rage on right now. The fury. He's not seeing straight. He doesn't see teammates anymore. He just sees bodies to put in the ground. Solus already lacking a soul. To be honest, probably best if he wasn't a grave at this point in time, thinks Ketch.
Ketch has the DBS on the corner, but Solus just swings for him. Instantly hits the deck. 5 players now remaining blank. My Name P hiding out in the building for so long successfully. Vampire with the main number of players. 2 still alive. You're talking about their chances there. Rules has to make this cross now, and My Name P shuts the door. Doesn't want to remain exposed for too long. Looks like Ravenclaw might be out of meds as well.
Yeah, remain in this area, and this is the problem with sticking in one spot for too long, is that you just do not get the resupplies you need. Kind of fitting, I guess, that Solus did take down Ketch. I mean, you don't have a soul. Kind of easy to take down your brother in that sense. My Name P, though, with the UMP, realizes that he needs to move a little bit further out. I've got to say that this Pmgc skin is absolutely gorgeous this year. Definitely on the Buddha hype, put it that way.
Well, My Name P on that Buddha hype. Right now, 4 players remaining, 2 of them from Vampire. Fireflux, Solus, Buddha My Name P. Trying to stick it out. Stoned seems to have the bead on My Name P. Hits the deck for the drop shot, but the nade doesn't land either. And in comes the push as well. Ankle sweeper, maybe. Has to swap the weapon.
Yeah,
Hang on a minute. What is going on? Stoned just doesn't spot him, I suppose, through the smoke. It's difficult to see. A sliver of HP keeps him alive, but the DBS around the corner gives him a shout in the fight. But no, My Name P finally up and into the action. Will take down one of the Vampire players. Now it's 1 versus 1 versus 1. Ravenclaw the last for Vampire.
It looked like the shimmy DBS was not working out that time, just from side to side. Looked like he was trying to go for the do-si-do, but that does not bring the dough home in that 3K. Fireflux looking to take it all the way here with Solus, looking mighty strong in a decent position on the edge, but this is the final zone. Will continue to move in. Ravenclaw, oh, he's left this medkit to the last moment. The surprises as he runs out, looks towards My Name P, looking for that revenge.
Nade from Ravenclaw being pulled now. No utility left at all for My Name P. No backpack either. Gonna go bear into this one. Solus spots Ravenclaw crawling up, sees him hit the deck, and there's no way Ravenclaw gets away from this one. Center of the circle needs to be occupied now, and My Name P will be able to do so. But with their chance here, Solus as well, up the top rope. right on the edge of the blue zone, and My Name P is just moving in with this circle. Solus waiting, knows exactly where the player's going to be coming from. And waiting for this crawl forwards. All it's going to take is one mag on either side. Solus breaks out wide, takes the initiative this time, plays on the rock, very, very central now. My Name P, no nades for Solus either. Armor looking fine for this 1v1, and now up he goes, Solus for the challenge! And it's Fireflux's player, Solus, took down his teammate and stands tall.
I mean, that's absolutely what you want to see. We heard what Solke said. You don't mess with fire, even if you're on the own team there. And Fireflux will take home the first show match there with Solus taking back the 3K. Happy days for them. But honestly, we kind of saw some of the big teams that we expected to see towards those 1v1 top positions. It was kind of weird for me. I thought that, this would be all topsy-turvy. But no, we did see some of the teams that everyone talked about, the guys on the desk had talked about. They were towards the top. Maybe not Max, because he talked about order and he went down almost instantaneously. But that's just life. That's how these things happen.
Well, that's true as well. I mean, I had Kengzo go down very early in that engagement as well. So many of the players that we might have expected to get a little bit later in might have failed. But maybe they were more concerned about preparing for the games to come.
Maybe. But if you put it around, you're My Name P. You try and take it all the way. But if you Fireflux, they came here to play, man. They came here to play. They came here to win. They'll take the show match and everything else. We'll see if they can get it done.
Yeah, hopefully they can.
Whoa.
Everyone's very excited here in Jakarta. We're going into this game thinking, who's going to have that power. I feel like it was a very, very different type of scenario to what we're going to be seeing for the rest of the day. It's a really good little amuse-bouche, as Max would say, for the rest of the day. You would say that, Max. Max is giving me the thumbs up. You would say that. That is, in fact, a word, and, well, 2 words that he would say.
Okay, what does it mean? Because you've not given any context.
Amuse-bouche. It's like an hors d'oeuvre.
Max is doing this,
right?
So
it's like an hors d'oeuvre.
Kind of little
it's an hors d'oeuvre.
to
I'm
nibble
saying
on.
French words to explain French words.
Good, you are. That's very unhelpful.
Take a look at that flag flying across the top of the crowd there. Pride for Indo coming on through. Lovely to see.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was people trying to escape the flag at first, but then I realized that they're carrying it across. I thought they were just like capturing people. But no, that is a beautiful Indonesian flag. Happy days. Good stuff. Honestly, when the army came in for Alter Ego, I was very proud. I mean, they picked their moment too. They were like, oh, you think everyone's in? No, we still have the big amount of support to bring.
There certainly is plenty of support, not only for the Indonesian teams, but for a lot of the other teams as well. But it is their home turf, and you've got to love it. You've got to love that show of pride. As they gather the flag up, they dragged it all the way across that section of seats. Maybe other audience members will have their turn in a bit. We'll have to wait and see. Hang on a minute. Are they going back?
I'd like a turn. I'm quite cold, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a little bit chilly. We're up in an air-conditioned area.
Yeah, I mean, Alex gets goosebumps. I get the goosebumps because I'm cold. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe he wasn't nervous. But we're going to head to an interview over on the stage. Desk with Barney.
Sensational. We are joined on the main stage by Solus of Fireflux. Congratulations for taking home that victory for the show match. I have to ask you, with regards to the rest of the matches today, has that boosted your confidence?
Tebrik ediyorum gösterdiğin performans açısından. Bu maç senin performansını ve özgüvenini yükseltti mi? Ne düşünüyorsun?
Asıl maçlardan önce şov maçları tabii ki de performansımı büyük ölçüde etkiledi. Bundan sonraki maçlara büyük katkıda bulunacağını düşünüyorum bu oynadığım maçın.
Of course, this match definitely boost my confidence, and I hope that it will also help me to show better performance during the other next match.
Oh, oke. Ini dia teman-teman semuanya, Solus dari Fireflux yang sudah memenangkan solo match barusan, yang dimana sudah menyampaikan kalau memang solo match barusan ini membuat tingkat kepercayaan diri dari Solus ini meningkat dan pastinya sudah bisa memberikan performance yang terbaik dan pastinya Solus sendiri senang sekali akan hal tersebut.
Solus, sana sormak istediğim önemli bir soru var, merak ettiğim bir konu var. Hangi oyuncuyu kendin için büyük bir tehdit olarak görüyorsun show maçları da başlarken?
Öncelikle birinci tehdit kendi takım oyuncum Catch. İkinci tehdit de Order.
First of all, our team player Catch, he is the biggest threat for me. As a second threat is the Order.
Oh oke, jadi Order dan juga Catch sendiri. Bahkan dari tim match-nya sendiri yang sebenarnya adalah salah satu, well dua sebenarnya untuk kali ini, player yang agak ngeribetin sih di match barusan.
We have your first match of the grand finals. Okay, I just want you to let us know, let everyone here in this arena know, and everyone at home, what is your team's biggest strength going into today?
Birazdan ilk maçlara başlamak üzereyiz. Maçlara başlamadan önce sormak istediğim bir durum var. Sizin takımınızın en güçlü yönü nedir?
Sürekli birlik içinde olmamız. Hem oyun hem oyun dışı olsun. Sürekli birlik içinde olmamız ve normal bir aileden hiçbir farkımızın olmaması.
Our biggest advantages actually we are the big family and we are always together and always support each other.
Oh oke, jadi sebenarnya kekuatan terbesar dari tim FF ini atau Fireflux ini sendiri adalah kekeluargaan mereka. Karena mereka ya suka bareng-bareng, ya sama lah ya kayak kita. Para Indonesia juga kekeluarganya kental banget gitu.
Well, Solus, thank you so much for joining us here on the main stage for your post-match interview, and best of luck in the rest of the day to you and to your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ooh, I love their energy, Banks, and that sure was a great match, wasn't it, Banks?
It really was. Donna, you know what? That match and that performance has set the bar for the skill level that we are all going to expect now for the rest of the tournament. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the main stage the Vice Secretary General of Indonesian Esports Federation, Dr. IGM Kartikajaya, SEMMMA.
Guys, we're back, in case we really are. Thank you so much to, Banks and Donna Vizquel for that beautiful interview. And if that isn't a storyline that we almost kind of touched on, because Solis, he took down Catched just before entering the top 5, and then he took it home as well. Now that is something they obviously now in hindsight probably are celebrating, but it could have gone differently, you know?
I did like what John and Black were saying during that game too, is like, you know, trying to make signals, almost smoke signals with the smoke. It's like, it's me, you're shooting it out right now, but it's just good fun, and it seemed like they were just having some fun after the game, and man, it's just like, no, just a little bit of an avant-bouche, we can also say, that works too, guys, before these first matches, and it's been a good start to the day.
Stop saying all these French words. There's only one French word I know, and I cannot say it, Max.
Definitely don't want to.
I do want to touch on something as well. That was really interesting because we had 2 Vampire players in the top 4, and none of them made it into the top 2. Look, both went out almost immediately afterwards, which is quite the bummer, I can imagine.
Yeah. With that, let me take on that real quick. You pointed it out too. When there was a Final 4, there was one player that just wasn't moving. He was just waiting patiently, and that was Ravenclaw. And he decided to, I think we heard Blank say it too, that he decided until the last minute to just get that last heal. I wish he would have rotated a little bit early, but at the end of the day, it is a show match.
And I do have to say, one player that really impressed us, despite not taking the win in that game, it was Rules.
Yes.
From DRS. He had, what, like 6 eliminations?
6 eliminations.
And he's been constantly like moving about, playing different ridge lines, third-partying a few fights here and there. Like, it's not easy in that kind of situation. If you were a player that was on the East, you're dead.
yeah, he was playing the blue zone. He was kind of just moving along with it, and it ended up working out for him. 6 elims. That's a great way to start the day.
I do have to say, there was one frag where I was particularly impressed because he had to cross the street on towards the compound that we saw in the end, and he was on the east side of it. And he took, I don't know who it was, but he took one of the players down that was having a car and like a smoke in order to cover himself from the compound, and that was the most important fact, the one I was most impressed with, because that was a really hard aim fight to take. And he actually made it work. That was the point where I thought, okay, this play could actually, you know, gain him some actual confidence in terms of bringing that energy over into Pmgc final games.
Yeah, ultimately he just wasn't blessed by the zone.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I like you made like said the most basic like call out stuff. I think the circle's going to be pretty important, and
I didn't say that.
I'm just making fun.
Just like you didn't pick order either. I got you, baby. Who was it that you picked?
I picked Kengzo.
That's who I thought. Okay, so that means you're not cursing people right away. Nice.
He did.
Who did?
Yes, I actually did. I actually kind of did. I picked Paraboy. Yeah. let's not talk about that. Actually, I expect one, King. I think King was in really late.
Yeah,
and I
him
think
and Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy had a pretty good position as well. I actually expected them to do way better.
I can actually give you my pick, since it is after the game. Do you want to take a guess?
I don't want to. No, I don't know.
It's not who you think it is.
Who is it?
I actually had Revo from Alpha 7.
When did you?
I had an actual
one
pick.
chance,
I
just pick it.
I wasn't just waiting to see who was going to win. I was like, let's see how he does.
I want my respect for you just a little bit higher. Just a tad. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting things. He was saying in the interview, do we have to come back to Solus to some degree? Because I thought that was really interesting. I mean, you know, Banks asked him straight away. He pinpointed that question pretty directly. He said, "Is that going to give you confidence in terms of going into the next games?" And we were talking earlier if that, you know, if that game is even going to be played seriously to some degree. Actually, do they actually care in terms of are they still inside the next games in terms of, you know, what are they focusing on? And I felt like Solus, I felt like he was focused on that game.
Yeah.
And something like that, even though he didn't have, you know, the most amount of kills, and I think Rules, maybe in terms of confidence, he's got kind of, you know, maybe an even bigger boost of confidence. But I do think that is going to make a difference.
I think it somewhat set the tone in terms of micro because, like, it just like once again, players trying to get heated
Yeah,
up, ready for the
definitely.
first match, like the first real game that we're going to have with teams. And I think it just like set the tone of like, okay, this is the kind of like level we're going to be expecting if we're taking, you know, 1v1 scenarios and such. So yeah, it's a good little start. And Solus, I mean, he was looking like really just. I was like, oh man, this guy's got presence on the stage right now, and he did great in that first game.
In a way, the thing that they might have taken very serious was those 1v1s when it came down to it, right? They are going to be able to get that information. If for some reason we do end up seeing some of those 1v1s, they're going to just reflect a little bit more on this show match. Even though it was a show match, they didn't want to die. They didn't want to get eliminated, so they're going to be like, okay, earlier I threw a smoke there and he decided to go a different way. Earlier I threw a molly there and he reacted this certain way. So who knows, maybe it'll come to play, but I really doubted that a lot of the players were taking it serious.
No, I don't. Yeah,
just
maybe not
fun.
like 100% series, not like a
Yeah.
PMGC Grand Final kind of series, but it was interesting either way. Well, while we're already on the topic of Fireflux, because when I met them, I was tapping on Sokai's shoulder and I was like, hey, I'm here. And I was telling him, PMGC? I was tapping his one, because at that point, I was still very much sure that Fireflux had one of the best chances overall in taking PMGC. Now, that tournament, they weren't exactly super strong, but either way, that particular team, how do you rate their chances? Let's just break it down, right? Fireflux, what are their chances for you and for you?
I would say there's a very big chance they'll be in the top 5. Like looking at
Top 5?
how this year's been going so far for like Turkey as a whole. Oh, you think that's too much?
Okay,
Come on.
yeah, keep going.
I'm saying that we got Turkish casters right next door. I do not want to get in trouble. But I think top 5 is no, you don't think so?
Now that you say that, I might have to change
Your top 3 is all Brazilian teams. I get
No,
it. Okay?
no, it's
Give
not.
chances
It's
to
not.
other regions, 7.
It's
Please.
not. I see like a top 7.
I wonder why. Wow, what a weird number.
Not because of that. I feel like they can possibly get to that top 5, but I don't know. I'm just not sold on it. That's the main thing. I'm not just sold on it. We have seen them being able to clutch up in certain instances. We have seen them being able to do certain things differently, right? We talk about the clutch factor as we see the fans getting super, super hype in the back, but I'm just not sold on a top 5 situation out of them.
Then
Yeah,
neither,
that sounds
apparently. Straight on complaints, but
They're agreeing with me.
the thing is, STG can make it happen to you. They've already been having players that can play at this stage.
Yes.
So, Turkey, once again, a strong region.
Yeah.
Could be potentially trying to take it away from Nova Esports.
See, I have STG actually on top 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what? At least you got one of the Turkish teams, so I respect that.
Yeah.
So what's it with you in SCG then? Because you said Kalsi, he impressed you so much throughout not only PMGC, but throughout the whole year. Is that something you would maybe put in front of Fireflux right now?
I do think STG could make it too. The thing is, I think only one of the 2 Turkish teams. Which one is it going to be? I have no idea as of right now, but I do think Turkey has what it takes to have at least one of the teams to make it in the top 5. A win could be possible too, but the thing is, they are a team that if they are on a good day, they're high up there. They can get like 3 wins in a row. It could happen, but they need to be in that top tier performance.
This is your only chance today. You can change your pick for that top 5 for the Turkish team. Would you want it to be S2G or would you want it to be Fireflux?
Because you're going for STG.
No. Don't factor mine. Don't factor mine. It's purely on you.
I commit to Fireflux. Okay, there you go. There you go. Now you got
Respect
STG.
it.
We got that competition.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Interesting. Very interesting, because I would have said SCG now as well. But then again, I have sympathies for it's hard because of the sympathies thing. They always play some part, some role into it. Don't tell me your sympathies don't play into your Brazil picks.
Yeah, they definitely do.
I was thinking about it.
I was thinking about something completely different. I was actually thinking about Jimmy, the way he played that show match. He was just like cool, calm, collected, just usual Jimmy.
On the beach?
Just chilling.
Good time.
But he was actually putting himself in great situations, and then the circle just ended up not being in his favor. He ended up sending it, and that's something that he's not used to doing by himself. But if we're going back to what you were saying earlier, if there's anybody taking it serious, you could tell that Jimmy was like, I really want to win this.
Yeah, I mean, you said it right. IGL's good. Try and get himself in good positions. And I was impressed that IGL's made it that far. So you know what? You were good on that call. And also the circle was important.
If it would have had at least a little bit of cover, just a little bit of cover, I think it would have ended up top 3.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate position. But the circle, we know, doesn't happen very often. If we have that circle happen again during this tournament, you'll be like, oh, wait, this happened. Maybe we can make things work a little bit. But yeah, good start. And man, the hype is just insane. I just can't wait.
It's
I
crazy.
the game. It's...
I still have goosebumps. Like, literally, look at this.
No, what did you say? You had what? Goosebumps? I think you had
Goosebumps. Did I actually say goosebumps? Oh, my goodness.
I wonder if they gave that big flag over to Blank. He was cold. I think you need to give it to him.
Was he?
Did they give it to him? Oh, he's still cold over there. Someone give him a flag, please.
I love it. When we saw the drums coming in, that was like the icing on the cake. All the players coming in, all the audience members coming in, everyone's just trying to support their teams, but then the drummers and then the army. Oh, honestly, I'm just blown away. Touching, while we still have the time, touching on a topic while we're already at the topic, which is Nova, right? These guys, at this point, they must almost feel comfortable winning championships, like it's nothing. Do you think that is an advantage, or do you think they still feel like they have not won a championship at all when they enter this stage? What do you think their mindset is going to be? Because you were talking to Parable earlier. You probably know him to some degree personally as well. Is that something that affects him?
They're friends. Yeah.